Newmark, who is doing his part to help refugees find safe passage. Thank you for joining us this morning. Brooks, could you just tell us the situation where you are?
Yeah, hi. I'm actually in Fromborg, which is a refugee centre run by the Catholic community here, and they've taken in three families really from close to the Belarus border, who actually look after children with special needs. And so broadly at the moment I'm visiting various refugee centres, but my main objective for the past 3 weeks has been trying to get Ukrainian women and children out of Ukraine and into the safety of Poland. And that's been my primary objective. Over the past 3 weeks, I've managed to move 6,383 women and children from Ukraine into Poland.
What are some of the human stories that you've heard so far, then?
Look, I think, so for example, this morning, the families that I met here in Fromborg, and it's run by the priests here, you know, they were saying to me that the children in particular were extremely traumatized. And when the symptom of trauma is they were very silent, incommunicative, and so on. It's now been a good 2 weeks since they've been here. They've opened up. And but the trauma in particular, it's not, you know, it is particularly the children that I'm most concerned with. And the children have been very, very traumatized by their experience.
I can imagine it just seemed like an unrelenting story of absolute horror, destruction, rape, massacre, murder, explosions. I mean,
yeah, I've actually got an interesting story for you. So there was, you know, with one of the women that I met who'd actually come up from Mariupol. When the Russians came into her house, they were shouting, "Where are the Nazis? Where are the Nazis?" And she's saying, "There are no Nazis here. Like, what are you talking about?" She says, no, where are the Nazis? And they went through the whole house, breaking down doors, looking under beds, looking for these sort of invisible Nazis that Putin had been talking about. It's ridiculous, this war.
Well, this is it, and it just points to a bit of a lot actually of the propaganda that's going on in Russia, clearly feeding into this narrative that Ukraine is riddled full of Nazis and that they are there to genuinely try to cleanse the pool, I suppose, as it were, which, as far as I can tell anyway, does not seem to be the case. What's the next step for these people that are coming here now, then? So are they going to try to remain, did you say, in Poland, is it? Or some going to try to make it to the UK?
I think so. I think, to be honest, most of the people I've met, you know, don't forget, all the men have pretty much stayed behind in Ukraine to fight. So they've left their brothers, their fathers, their sons behind. So they want to remain as close as possible to their families. So I would say the majority of refugees that I've met in Poland, and by the way, the Poles have done an amazing job. They're hosting 2 million refugees at the moment, 2 million. And we've, at the moment, I think have taken in 29,000 in the UK. So they've taken in 2 million, have been incredibly hospitable, looking after them well. But I think, to answer your question, the majority want to remain close to home. They keep hoping, and hoping against hope perhaps, that this war will end soon and they can go back to their families. The reality is, though, and you and your viewers have seen the absolute destruction in towns like Bucha, in Mariupol, in Irpin, and so on, it's going to be at least a year or so they're here while they try and rebuild the country, even if the war ended today.
Look, thank you very, very much. That is, of course, former Conservative MP Brooks Newmark there.